Well, I suppose it was around 1992 when my best buddy and I decided that we were going to go surf fishing down on the coast of North Carolina at the Outer Banks. We decided, too, that we would stay about a block off the ocean at a state-owned campground, and we could do that because he had the old family camping trailer that they had used even before he was born. And when I say old, I mean it had a refrigerator, it had a stove, but it didn't have no air conditioning. So I suppose we were roughing it. But that's okay because we pacified ourselves with food. Tomato sandwiches, there's nothing any better. Lots of pepper, lots of mayonnaise, and in those days, white bread. I can't afford to do that anymore for health reasons. And then you top that off with ice cold sweet tea. And if you're able to catch some fish, you could fry some of them up. I don't think we caught any. Well, we got to that campground the first evening, got the camper all leveled up and battened down, and we jumped in the truck and we headed for the grocery store to get those essential items that I have just mentioned. And we walked in there, and of course we were being our usual outgoing selves, joking with one another, and shopping, smiling, laughing, because generally we're outgoing and nice guys. Finally, we were ready to check out, and we noticed that the cashier was less than talkative to the customers in front of us, and even though they were trying to engage her, she wasn't having any of it. So Michael and I got up there in front of her. She began checking us out, and we didn't push it at all. You know what we said to her? Absolutely nothing. Not a word. We finished getting checked out, and we got all the stuff paid for and took the bags, got them in the truck, and Michael got in under the driver's area, and just as soon as I jumped up in the passenger side and shut that door, he looked over at me and he said, "Wow, she surely was a witch." And I said, "No kidding. She obviously was having a bad day." And then Michael got a concerned look on his face, and I suppose because of his Christian upbringing, maybe he was a little convicted. And he looked over at me and he said, "Hey, do you think we should have witnessed to her?" I thought about it for a moment and realized that we hadn't said anything to her, good or bad. And so I said, Michael, I think we just did. Well, we got back to the camper and we fixed our maiden tomato sandwiches, and we began talking about what being a witness means. And we reckoned that we had been a witness to her, even though we had kept our mouth shut. So we began writing the words to this song you're about to hear that very evening. And I remember one of the lines that Michael specifically believed that we were supposed to put in it is on the second verse. And it says, "Are you shining in their darkness? Are you seasoning their souls? Or will you leave them blinded to the light?" We first recorded this song on a studio album in late 1995, and in the live concert you're about to hear at Columbus, Ohio in late 1996. And the song we have entitled, "You Just Did." You've probably made a promise, a New Year's resolution from time to time as Christians. I'm going to witness more this year. I'm going to be confrontational with people. I'm going to tell them about Jesus. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Whether you speak it and say it, and you're a witness in that avenue, or you keep your mouth shut, regardless, you are still a witness. So whenever you think you didn't witness and you didn't give a word, really, you just did.
You've longed to be a testimony, a faithful servant for the Lord. Still you haven't shared your faith for many years. While they're working right beside you and they live just across the street, still every day you'd say you'd witness if it were not for your fears. But you just did. You're the light of the world. You're the salt of the earth. And you choose to send a message when you do not give the word. We are seeking right and wrong by the statements that we live. And whenever you don't witness, you just did. Are you shining in their darkness? Are you seasoning their souls? Or will you leave them blinded to the light? Daily opportunities are quickly passing by. Still every day you'd say you'd witness if the timing were just right. But you just did. You're the light of the world. You're the salt of the earth. And you choose to send a message when you do not give the word. We are speaking right and wrong by the statements that we live. And whenever you don't witness, you just did. Can you see the difference one life alone can make?